The rain was falling hard that Tuesday when I heard the scratching at the door. They weren't ordinary knocks. It was the sound of desperate nails against old wood, insistent, pleading. I opened it annoyed, ready to chase away any stray animal. What I saw froze me. A skeletal golden retriever was standing there, trembling. Her bones pressed against her skin as if they might break through at any moment. The golden fur that should have been shining was dull, dirty, clinging to her thin body. But it wasn't her hungry eyes that paralyzed me. It was the way she looked at me. She barked once. Weak, hoarse. Then she grabbed the hem of my pants with her teeth and pulled. I tried to free myself, but she insisted with a strength she shouldn't have had in that condition. Her eyes begged for something I couldn't understand. When I finally broke free and closed the door, she began to howl. It wasn't a normal howl. It was a cry. A mother's plea. Something inside me changed at that sound. I grabbed a flashlight and opened the door again. The dog darted down the dark street, looking back every few meters, making sure I was following her. My heart raced. Where was she taking me? After 3 blocks, she stopped in front of an abandoned lot. She went through a hole in the fence. I hesitated. The rain soaked my clothes, the cold cut into my skin. But those pleading eyes kept replaying in my mind. I went in. In the corner of a ruined shed, under rotten planks, I heard a weak whimper. The golden approached and began licking something small on the ground. I pointed the flashlight closer. A golden puppy lay there, smaller than my hand, breathing with difficulty. Her belly was grotesquely swollen, her ribs sticking out. White foam dripped from her tiny mouth. The mother looked at me, then at the puppy, then back at me again. At that moment, I understood. She wasn't asking for food. She was asking for a miracle. If you're enjoying this story, don't forget to subscribe to the channel, like the video, and leave in the comments what you thought and which city or country you're watching from. I carefully picked up the puppy. Her body was cold and limp, almost lifeless. The mother golden got to her feet, unsteady, and began following me as I ran back home. The rain was falling harder now, but I barely noticed. Inside, I wrapped the little one in warm towels. Her breathing was irregular, faltering. I grabbed the phone and called the only veterinary clinic I knew. 3 rings. 4. 5. Clinic closed. Call tomorrow after 8. Tomorrow? She wouldn't have a tomorrow. She didn't even have another hour. My mind spun in panic. The mother golden was at my side, licking my hand, then the puppy, in frantic motions. Her eyes begged for an answer I didn't have. I remembered Daniel, a friend who worked as a nurse. Maybe he knew something, anything. I dialed, trembling. I need you now. It's an emergency. 15 minutes later, he was at my door, drenched. He looked at the puppy, and his face turned serious. This is poisoning. Look at the foam, the swollen belly. Someone has been putting rat poison around. Poison. The word hit my stomach like a stone. Who would do this to a defenseless animal? Anger rose in my throat, but there was no time for that now. Is she going to die? My voice came out hoarse. Daniel examined the little one carefully. Without veterinary treatment? Probably yes. But there's one thing we can try. It's risky. Anything. He ran to the car and came back with a medical bag. He began preparing something I didn't understand. Syringes, vials, quick and precise movements. The mother golden watched every gesture with an intensity that broke my heart. I'm going to induce vomiting and try to stabilize her. But even if it works, she'll need intensive care. Are you prepared for that? I looked at that malnourished dog who had crossed streets in the cold to save her daughter. I looked at that little ball of fur fighting for her life. I am. Daniel inserted the first syringe. The puppy convulsed. The mother gave a low howl. And I prayed for the first time in years. The night turned into dawn without me realizing it. Daniel had done everything he could and left at 3 in the morning, leaving detailed instructions. The puppy was breathing, but she was far too weak. She needed warmth, constant hydration, and monitoring every hour. I set up a kind of improvised ICU in the living room. Thermal bottles around the box, a thermometer, syringes with fluids. The mother golden did not leave her daughter's side for a single second. She herself was on the verge of collapse, but she refused food, refused water. She only licked the little one and looked at me, checking if I was doing everything right. At 5 in the morning, the puppy stopped breathing. I panicked. I picked her up, blew air into her tiny mouth, massaged her chest with 2 fingers. The mother began to howl, a sound I will never forget. It was the scream of a mother losing her child. No, no, no. I kept trying. 30 seconds. 1 minute. Then she coughed. A small movement, almost imperceptible. Then another. She started breathing again, weak but steady. I collapsed onto the floor, shaking. The mother golden licked my face, then returned to the puppy. At that moment, I made a decision. I grabbed my phone and started researching. I needed to understand who had spread poison in that lot and why. I found neighborhood resident groups on social media and started reading. I found the answer in a post from 2 days earlier. A man named Roberto complained about dirty animals invading his property and said he had taken measures. In the comments, he admitted to having spread rat poison in the abandoned lot. My blood boiled. I saved screenshots of everything. I looked for more information about him. I discovered his address, his workplace. But it wasn't revenge I wanted. It was justice. At 7 in the morning I called animal control, the environmental police, and 3 different lawyers. I sent all the screenshots, all the evidence. I explained the situation in detail. Then I called the veterinary clinic as soon as it opened. I described the case. The veterinarian listened to me in silence. Bring her now. I'll be waiting. The veterinarian's name was Helena. She took the puppy from my hands and disappeared through the emergency room door. The mother golden tried to follow, but an assistant gently held her back. She jumped and scratched at the door, desperate. I need to examine the mother too, said another veterinarian, approaching. She's in critical condition. No, I said firmly. She's not leaving here until I know her daughter is okay. I understood it deeply now. That dog had sacrificed everything for the little one. She hadn't eaten, hadn't drunk, using her last strength to find me. Separating them now would be far too cruel. 40 minutes passed. Every second felt like an eternity. The mother golden lay in front of the door, eyes fixed on the gap underneath, waiting for any sign. Then Helena came out. Her face was too serious. My heart sank. The puppy is stable, she said, and I breathed a sigh of relief. But there's something you need to know. She paused for far too long. When I examined her, I found something. She wasn't poisoned in the abandoned lot. She ate the poison inside a house. I didn't understand. How do you know? From the residues in her stomach. There was quality dog food mixed with the poison. Someone did this on purpose, put poison in her food. The revelation hit me like a punch. But that means these dogs had an owner. Someone poisoned them and then abandoned them in that lot. The anger I felt was unlike anything else. It wasn't Roberto from the online group. It was someone worse. Someone who earned their trust, fed them, and then tried to kill them. Do they have a microchip? I asked, my voice trembling. Helena shook her head. No. But I'll report this. We have photos, evidence. The police can investigate. At that moment, the door opened. The assistant brought the puppy wrapped in blankets. Still weak, but breathing normally. The mother golden rose unsteadily and began sniffing the little one, licking every inch of her. Then it happened. The puppy, for the first time since I found her, opened her eyes. 2 dark, shining circles fixed on her mother. And she let out a small bark. The mother golden cried. There's no other word. She pressed her muzzle against the puppy and made a sound that I carry with me to this day. 3 weeks later, I received a call from the environmental police. They had found the person responsible. A man who bred Goldens for sale, but when the mother had only 1 puppy in the litter, considered both unproductive. He poisoned them and threw them into the abandoned lot to die far from his property. He was fined a large amount, banned from owning animals for 10 years, and would face criminal charges for animal cruelty. The investigation also uncovered other cases. He had been doing this regularly. The news brought me a bitter relief. Justice had been served, but how many others hadn't been so lucky? Today, 4 months later, I watch Luna and Mel playing in the yard. Yes, I adopted both of them. How could I not? Luna, the mother, regained her weight, and her golden fur now shines in the sun. Mel, the puppy, has grown strong and healthy, full of energy. But Luna never forgot. Every night, before sleeping, she checks if Mel is okay. She licks her carefully, lies beside her, protecting her. And every morning when I wake up, Luna comes to me and presses her muzzle against my hand. It's her way of saying thank you. I learned something fundamental that rainy night. I learned that compassion doesn't ask for permission, it simply happens when you allow it. I learned that a mother's love crosses all barriers, even the barrier of death itself. And I learned that sometimes the universe places situations in our path not by chance, but because we are exactly the right person at the right moment. How many Lunas are out there now, begging for help? How many Mels need a miracle? The difference between life and death can be an open door, an extended hand, a heart willing to hear a silent plea. I have never closed my door to nighttime scratches again. I have never ignored an animal in need again. Because that night, I didn't just save 2 lives. They saved mine too, reminding me of what truly matters. If this story touched you, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and tell in the comments where you're watching from. Share it so more people open their doors to those in need.